Hi viewers, this is Ijaz Qureshi from Toronto, Canada with today's episode of the Ijaz Qureshi Show. Today we have a very good topic and you all want to listen to until the end of the show. Today's topic is servant leadership in challenging times. We are all going through challenging times these days, and I think we have been through challenging times forever. It looks like the challenging time is never ending. So for this topic, we have invited our esteemed guest, Mr. Fahad Ahmed. He is a management executive all the way from Karachi, Pakistan, and he is an IT management executive with cross-functional and diversified experience in project management, as well as business analysis, risk management, change management, implementation of large-scale projects, ERP applications, as well as MIS applications. That's what he has been doing for many, many years. He's PMI Leadership Masterclass alumni from USA, and he volunteered with PMI, Project Management Institute, Karachi, Pakistan chapter as their chapter president till the January this year. And he actively provides coaching and mentoring to entrepreneurs, and he's also engaged with numerous startups in advisory capacity. Let's welcome our esteemed guest, Fahad Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Fahad.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much. कैसे हैं आप? खैरियत से हैं?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, fine. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking. First of all, welcome to the show. Has been I know you had to wait so long, but the list is so overwhelming that everybody's really interested to hop on the show. But thank you so much for your patience.
It's my honor. It's my honor.
All right. So you have been doing so many things, and mashallah, you have an impressive portfolio. Before we dig into that, I would like to take you to your childhood. What is the earliest memory you recall when you were 3, 4, 5 years old? What do you remember?
I really remember that one thing that I really wanted to be a cricketer because at that point in time, my passion was to be a sportsman.
Okay.
That passion is still somewhere down, inside, and I take out some of my passion whenever it gets time. But it was something I really wanted to do, and I really wanted to be somebody who can play really well and who can be a role model.
Awesome. Now, how would you define somebody?
Okay, because when you were young, your mind is very fragile, and you've got so many enthusiastic ideas. Even a 5-year-old kid can have some revolutionary thoughts. So not only you've got people as your role model, you also have yourself as a role model. So people can look up to you and can be whatever they want to be in life. So for me, I was not a person who only looks up to people. From the beginning, I want to be somebody whom people can look up to and can chase their dreams and become somebody they always wanted to be. So this is I always wanted to.
Wow. And as they say, everybody is somebody, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's somebody. That's great. So let's dive into it. And we have some comments here as well. Smita Sharad Gandhi is from Mumbai, India. She did send some emoji, which I can see here. And we see Rabia Salim Rao. Great to see you, Fahad Ahmed. Thank you so much, Rabia, for your comment. And stay tuned, and we'll dig into
Thank you, Rabia.
Shortly. And the topic today is servant leadership in challenging times. So we are all going through challenging times, Fahad. And how do you see, how would you define challenging times? Because I've been seeing challenging times since Pakistan's independence, and it's never kind of ending.
Thank you so much. It's a great question. Challenging times are always there. Well, let me go back a little bit. Since our childhood, we face different kind of challenges. We grow up in college and school, we get some different kind of challenges. And we get into professional life and personal life, we get we tend to get different kind of challenges, but still it is always relevant to our own selves. But if we consider this situation, this global problem, global pandemic, each and everybody is being impacted, whether he or she is a millionaire or somebody else, owner, business owner, or educator, or an IT professional. So now when you need to adapt and to kick off things, normal things like even pick up some grocery item, and has become a really problematic because you cannot go out, you cannot have interaction with people, you cannot do certain things normally and naturally that you should be doing previously. So now it has created a mental block, not only a physical block, and also an emotional block, which is termed as a challenging time.
Okay, that's good. So how a servant can become a leader? So that's I think the topic of the day, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I go back to my previous your first question of my childhood. So the first thing that I've been taught by my parents is to respect every other person, irrespective of their designation,
Status or
caste,
yes, true,
creed, and whatever.
true.
So then this is have been I now this thing within mind, I have always be very cautious. And again, my friends, the social circle, and especially my somebody who's very close to me are inherit the same value that I have. So the basic concept of servant leader is that you are a servant first, then a leader, nor irrespective of your designation, whether you're a general manager, whether you are a managing director, or even a senior manager or whatever. But again, you are here to serve people. You keep your personal benefit aside and help people grow, help them get their dreams, help them develop competencies and become better persons. So whatever is happening around us, we as a nation or a society have become really I would say materialistic, but again we follow the status quo, and we follow things which are very much worldly. But our own purpose goes beyond that. It's not just about getting a new car or getting a new property or something, but again, people around us who help us who we are today, we work with them every single day. What are we doing to benefit them? What we are doing to help them, and what we are doing to help to ensure that they grow as well we grow.
Right, right. So that's what the servant leadership is. So even if one is the owner or CEO or whatever of a company, he or she still is a servant, right? That's the
Yeah, exactly.
right. Okay, good, awesome. That's great. So again, going back to the leadership, what do you think the leadership qualities should be in a person who becomes a leader, who is into that position?
So, considering this current situation, I've seen a lot of people who call themselves leaders and who are all doing phenomenal, wonderful work. But for the main thing that you need to have is you're able to give people hope. Number one, you're able to, you're very much emotionally intelligent. You understand people emotion. You can connect with them, and you can ensure them that you are there for them, because you can get results, you can get the revenue, you can get the profits, you can even help cut down your expenses, and again you can get into a survival mode. But people are you're the most valuable asset. If a leader is unable to put in efforts and connect with its people, and communicate properly, and demonstrate that he is not just talking, he's also able to walk the talk, by helping them, by nourishing them, and by enabling them to get to the next level.
Hmm. Great, awesome, that's good. So when you serve people, there are different challenges that we face. Um, uh, so what are the challenges for these leaders in these challenging times or normal times? What do you think?
The first thing is the biggest challenge that we or everybody as a leader is facing right now is disconnection. Now,
Disconnection, that's
so,
right.
yeah. So creating connection with your employees is equally important as creating connection with your family members and your friends and your relatives. Because if you are unable to understand what's going through my mind or what's going through my people's mind, I will never be able to get the best result out of them. There is so much anxiety, so much fear factors, so much depression nowadays that everybody is unable to not only cope with it but also unable to perform to its normal
Delivery,
best.
yeah, delivery is
Yeah,
the challenge. That's right.
yeah. So the creating connection in this time of isolation is very, very important. For example, you just pick up a phone and call your subordinate or somebody, how he or she is doing, maybe how the kids are doing, how the family is doing. That can
Mm,
create a lot of impact instead of asking for a daily report or a weekly report. And if uh, you are able to ensure that you care for them, they will give their 200% even in this time of distress.
absolutely, you're right. You're right. You have to be connected with them and show them that you care about them because they are your asset. That's right. We have some comments here. Let's take one comment here. Sunil Gaur is our brother from Mumbai, Bollywood. He's a journalist, film journalist, as well as an author, saying, Ijaz, bhai, how are you? I'm good. Thank you so much. And the best wishes from Rajesh Gaur and Sunil Gaur, Mumbai. Thank you so much for your best wishes. Stay blessed. Sayyida Kanis Fatma is with us, saying, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. Appreciate it. Great. So now the project, you're an expert in project management. How do you see projects being implemented in these challenging times? Have the projects been impacted with this current situation, or they're still going on? And how do you see the human capital assets be working towards the implementation of various large-scale projects?
Uh, it's a great question. Now, when we look around, especially with people of whom I'm working, or even my friends who are working uh, with different in different industries, the total scenario has changed dramatically. So
Mm-hmm.
there are few industries who are trying to survive, but there are also in the industries. There are few industries who have created and who are creating a lot of impact, such as education. So the type of projects and the implementation is still going on, and but the time frame has really shrunk. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because if the longer the delay, the most devastating the impact will be. Whether it's health
Absolutely.
sector,
That's right.
whether the
Any
yeah,
any
whether
any
it
project.
yeah. So, but again, now a few industries, in few companies, they are since it's a really a crunch situation. They really want to ensure that the finances remain intact. So they're trying to deliver as quick as possible. So the clients are satisfied and they're able to pay on time. On the
Mm.
other hand, when we come to social projects or people, a project will impacting the just creating a lot of social impact. So you have the return of investment is totally different. So those organizations are focusing on the impact, for example, such as education. So you don't want your child to be left behind in terms of education, and so schools and educators are coming up with totally different, innovative solutions and trying to implement that. In that situation, the time frame is really really short because they don't have the time to try and test it out.
No.
Even they have, but it's a very short window, and they need to roll it out and get everybody on board as quick as possible. So
Right.
whether you live in west or east, so project implementation has really kicked off. Apart from there are few projects which are not very much necessary at the time, so they have been put in on back burner. But
Mhm.
the most important projects which are creating a lot of value for the organization, whether it's financial or it's reputational or it's social impact, they're really doing on an acceleration basis, and people are doing really well.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Now, keeping in view your several decades of project management experience, myself always struggled, and I'm a PMP as well for many years. But what I have struggled was the risk analysis. So, what is the best way to analyze risks on these projects, and how to analyze them, how to envisage the risks, and create a risk mitigation or aversion plan?
Yeah, so thank you so much. This is something I really wanted to talk about because being a project management expert
This
or
is
somebody
viewers.
who,
This is not pre-arranged questions at all. I don't do that.
yeah,
These all
yeah,
questions are coming extempore, and our guest is responding. Yeah, our guests are in hot seat. Always they're on hot seat because they never know what's going to be thrown on them. So thank you so much, Fahad, for taking.
you know, I really like the question. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about risk management is being individuals and being human. Specifically, when we talk about our own society, we are very good firefighters. We are not very good
Yeah,
risk mitigators. So
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and
So we deal with
and
the risk when after the incident
yeah.
happens. Actually, we don't
So
plan ahead.
yeah, when we talk about PMBOK or PMI, it always teaches us, it always promotes being proactive, but again,
True.
being individuals, we are very much reactive and we kick off whenever the risk has happened or about to happen.
Right.
So, but I think if you can take up, look at the theory that is available, it guides us very beautifully and provides a mechanism that each of us can adopt. Not necessarily that process has to be a very much holistic or very on a bigger scale. Depending upon on your industry, depending upon your circumstances, you can tailor it and use it to your own benefit.
Or
So,
depending upon the value of the project
yeah,
as well. Right?
yeah, exactly. So again, if you have a target objective to achieve, you can look at what are the factors that can be hampered by the unstable conditions or the potential risk that you can anticipate. Once you are able to, as a group, the most
No,
important thing, the group.
the question is this. This is what I struggle with myself. That how do we go about finding the risks? That's
Yeah.
the basic thing that I always struggle with. That okay, um, these are the risks, and these are the only risks that can happen. But that
So
was
this,
never the case. Something will
yeah,
pop up out of the blue, and we never thought about
yeah,
it.
exactly. So what I have learned in my small career so far, that this is can only be done by questioning your intellect and going against the norm. Because when there is one thing that always impact us is the culture or the environment that we work in. So if you are for example, I'm working for in a company for like 10 years or so. So I get so caught up with the current process that my mind don't goes beyond thinking the current process. So
Exactly.
what
That's right.
we can do is we can always question the current process. Is it really relevant? It is effective, or are we getting the right result? And one more thing, looking at history of projects that you have done previously, like 5 projects, how many times you have encountered a risk which you were not anticipating. If this trend is keep popping up every other time, this means you need to understand your processes are not adequate and not your thinking is. So keep asking questions and involve everybody. So that will give you new fresh perspective as well. Sometimes we are so much caught up in our jobs that we develop a specific perspective and work accordingly. But for
Yeah,
example,
that's right.
talking to you and having your insight will help me leverage my own insight as well. So
True.
that can one of the way that we can collectively do risk management in a better way.
Good. Good. So at the time of the close of the project, we did lesson learned. How do you perceive those lesson learns, and how do they help in servant leadership in challenging times?
Lesson learns are very important. The most important thing is capturing those lesson learned. Step number one is always there, because we always capture them in our minds, and we never write it down somewhere. It's not available to our people. But again, uh, if if we are trying to improve, because leadership is a journey, it's not something that I get a title, I get a designation, and suddenly I become a accomplished leader. It's something that I will learn over the period of time. It's an ongoing journey that helped me evolve as a leader. So what myself as a leader should do is keep on drafting those points, take mental notes, and help me evolve as a leader. Number one. Number two, those lessons learned will help you in people's perspective. The decisions you have taken previously, the impact of the decisions, and how much the people have been impacted or affected around you. So it's only the business, the operational processes that have thrived on the cost of the people, or people have also, get to the next level and have got what they wanted or achieve what they wanted. So it's all about the sentiment. It's all about caring for your people. It's about putting your people first and then taking the decision, involving them, and let them know what your own perspective is, what how they can benefit from that, and collectively we can win rather than only one individual or two individuals get the leadership.
Great, great. So going back to the topic, servant leadership again, is there anything else that you wanted to add to the topic that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about authenticity as a leader, and
As
number
a leader,
two,
yes,
yeah,
that's a must.
and yeah, and the other thing I really want to talk about is creating a culture of accountability. These two things are really, really important and very tough in the life of a leader.
That's right.
You have to be authentic, because you cannot, because leadership, the seat of the place of a leader is very crucial and critical. You cannot look good all the time. Sometimes you need to take bold decisions. Sometimes you need to, reprimand somebody. Sometimes you need to, if you need to care for your people, you need to, guide them, give them negative feedback as well, which is very difficult to
Very,
digest.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
this is, you
And
need
it's
to be
important.
authentic. Yeah, yeah. That is so. Whatever you are behind the picture, you should be in front of the picture. Like who you have to be authentic all the time.
Should not be
And number two,
stereotyped.
yeah, number two thing is creating culture of accountability. Now, the other part that the leadership trap is when you become somebody who people look up to. It really gets difficult to hold accountable people, because either they will feel bad about it, or they will leave you or leave the organization, or even they will stop working. So whether it's a corporate organization, whether it's non-profit organization, whether it's a community-based position, every person has a job to do. Then only we can collectively get the result or get the objective.
Mm.
If people, so you need to create a culture of accountability, hold people accountable for their actions. So I've seen a lot of people who finds very finds solace in people who talk really good but don't deliver, and they feel really bad how we can hold accountable to other people. They have been in this organization for so many years or held this position for so many years, or even I respect them for so many years. But as a leader, it's my job. I have to ensure that everybody is able to perform their job, help them, assist them. If they're not doing or performing, then hold them accountable for not performing.
That's right. Yeah. This is how I did it when I did project management as well. That I kind of played it that I'm delegating the authority to you, to the team members, and delegation of authority comes with responsibility and accountability, right? So they felt that yes, now we have this authority, we're going to use it, and we'll be accountable for, and then they did perform. Great. What else is left over that you wanted to add towards the topic?
Okay, so one more thing that I would like to add here is you know delegation. Servant leadership also enables you to empower people, enable people, and then delegate stuff to them because they're ready. A leader can always take a certain workload, and you cannot do all the work by your own self.
True.
It's not the right approach.
That's right.
I've seen people, specifically for people who have just taken up the new leadership role. It's very important to trust their people and help them evolve as a team rather than taking on the whole burden on his or on her shoulders and then collapsing later on, and people giving feedback that the organization is not doing well, or maybe finger pointing that there's a lot of things that have been missed out, because
That's
every
right.
individual has a certain capacity and has a certain ability to to take some load or some burden. So it's very important to delegate your stuff to your people, trust them, and also it's very important that you have the eye uh, to identify the right people for the right job. This is very important. An organization can only thrive if you have put in the right people who have the right competency and have the guts to take action at the right moment.
That's important. I'm glad you mentioned that, put the right people on the right job. I don't know if that is happening in our country or not, because lots of people have different qualification and different discipline and doing different things, which doesn't match their educational qualification. So that's something has impact on our work environment as well, that people with the qualification, with the right qualification, they don't get that job because somebody else with a wrong qualification or a different qualification is in the job. So they're not getting the job. The person who with the different qualification is in the job doing different things than his or her qualification, cannot deliver to the extent that a qualified person in that discipline can deliver. So they get frustrated sometimes. So this is a dilemma of our working environment, that right qualified people are not placed into the right jobs.
Exactly. One of the reasons that we as a society or we as a nation suffer, that the system suffers because we don't have the right people for the right job, or even
That's
we are still attached to the previous norms, and we are unable to get out of those shackles. So as a leader, you need to be innovative, and it doesn't care whether people will blame you for not following the old norms. If you are following something which you think is right from your heart and it is benefiting your people, so even whether it's not written in the book, it's not part of your any law book or anything that governs your society or governs your organization, but it is helping organization to thrive, and number two, it is helping individuals to thrive. That should be adopted, and from there it will be adopted by other organization and individuals. See, changing norm is not that easy. Changing human behavior is not that easy.
no.
It's only first few people that who will go against the tide, and rest of the world will follow.
Right. That's great. So another question I have, that would be the last question, Fahad, is that how important it is to follow a methodology on project implementation, be it a multi-million-dollar projects or being a few $1,000s project.
Okay, so the best thing is what's the objective of the company and you're trying to achieve. So then you can come up with a process to not only safeguard that objective, but also how to be more efficient and effective. So whether you're following PMI model or agile model or any Prince 2 model, it, if you're not protecting that objective and you're not fulfilling the requirement, you will never be successful. So whether you're having a multi-million-dollar project or few thousand project, end in mind has to be very much clear, and what you're trying to achieve. And then do you have the right people on the bus? That's very important. Maybe you don't have 100 of people, maybe few people who have the right attitude. The attitude matters. Attitudes matter more than qualification. Sometimes you have got people who've got
Willingness to do work.
yeah, tons of qualification, but they don't have the right attitude. How much quick are you in taking decisions? That's very much important. So if you follow these three things, I think you will be able to safeguard your objective and deliver the project in time with required success criteria.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great. Now let's move on to the next segment of our show, which is on a lighter side. The segment is called the U and Q. Q for Qureshi. So in this, we'll be playing a rapid fire. I'll give you a word, and then you will be responding back in a sentence, speaking of your heart. So it's totally uncensored, so you can respond back with anything. And there will be two multiple choice questions. I'll give you those two questions first, and then we'll head on to the rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome, great. So you have been chosen to act as a hero in a film, a Pakistani film, and now you have to pick your heroine for that role, for that film. I'll give you 5 names. You can only pick from one from them. First one is Sanam Baloch. Second is Mawra. Third is Myra Khan. Fourth is Saba Kamar. And fifth is Mahwish Khan. Who would you pick?
I will choose Sanam Baloch.
Sanam Baloch. Okay, that's good. A very innocent one. Thank you. Then you are still the hero in the same film, and now you have to pick a side hero working beside you. I'll give you 5 names. You cannot pick your best friend. So, first name is Fawad Khan. Second is Hamza Ali Abbasi. Third is Ahsan Khan. Fourth is Imran Abbas. And fifth is Faisal Qureshi.
I will choose Faisal Qureshi.
Faisal Qureshi, seasoned actor. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, are you ready for the rapid fire now?
Yeah, I will.
All right. So the first word is home.
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home, as they say. Good. Next word is tea.
Tea without biscuits is like, you know.
Biscuit is nothing. Tea and biscuit will go together. Good. Air.
Yeah, life without my best friend is like life without air.
Good. Next word is horse.
I'm afraid of horse riding.
Why? Did you fall in Murray? No.
Maybe
Lots of people who are afraid of horses, they fell in Murray. Everybody goes to Murray, and then there are horse riding over there, and some people have responded back that yes, they fell in Murray. Even my son fell in Murray from horse, so that's great. Mountain.
I would like to climb mountains.
Try. Good. Biryani.
Every day.
That's good. Flower.
Flower. I love flowers.
You love flowers. That's good. Spoon. Chamcha.
Spoon. Chamcha. I've got. I cannot eat rice with spoon.
You cannot eat rice with a spoon. Eating with hand is sunnah as well, so that's great. Next word is friend.
Sorry?
Friend.
Friend. There's only one person that comes to my mind when I think about the word friend.
That's good. Next word is neighbor. Porosan.
Neighbor. My neighbors are the. I have got the most notorious neighbor ever.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, next word is love.
Love is like fragrance.
Fragrance. That's great. Awesome. Next word is owl. Ullu.
I am like an owl because I don't sleep at night.
Don't sleep at night. You're working at night. All right, that's great. Success.
Success hurts sometimes.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Success is?
Success hurts sometimes.
Oh, sometimes it hurts. Okay. Okay. Next word is donkey.
Donkey. In every organization, there's a donkey. Don't be one.
Don't even. That's good. Next word is pen.
Sorry.
Pen.
Pen. Pen has more power than anything else.
Pen has more power. That's good. Next word is peace.
Peace. You just don't need, worldly peace. You also need inner peace. That is very much important.
Inner peace as well as worldly peace. That's good. Next word is soul.
Soul. Don't sell your soul ever.
Don't sell
Ever.
it.
Specifically in relationships.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Next word is driver.
Driver. My passion is my driver.
Your passion is a driver. That's good. Next word is leader.
Be a leader. People, look up to you every single minute and every single second.
Right. That's right. And next word is boss.
Boss. Boss means authority.
Hmm. Boss means authority. That's right. Next word is black.
Black. Don't. Your heart shouldn't be black.
Heart should not be black. That's good. That's good. Next word is nihari.
Nihari. Nashta. Breakfast.
It should be naan, paratha, and nihari. That's good. Next word is heart. Dil.
Very sensitive. It's very sensitive. Never
Very
broke heart.
That's good. Never break heart. And last word is Pakistan.
Pakistan is heart. Pakistan is soul. Pakistan zindabad.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This was the UNQ segment. I hope you liked it. I like it too much because after serious discussion on the topics, we go into this segment and just lightens the discussion. So thank you so much. We have some comments here. Let me take those. Asghar Rizvi is with us, saying nice going. Thank you so much, Mr. Asghar. Rabia Salim Rao is saying what we can do with those people leading us and do not practice servant leadership and make our mindset difficult. Very good question. Very important question.
Thank you, Rabia. First of all, I'm really thankful she's attending. She's my colleague. She's my best friend, and she's always been there whenever I'm here. So one thing that we can do is give people feedback, honest and regular feedback. We talked about creating connections, but again, it's very important.
We have that culture of giving feedback to our leaders. I mean,
yeah,
is that culture exist?
It's not that easy, and we don't have that culture in Pakistan. But again, we have to develop that connection. For example, when I was in my previous job and working with my boss for the first time, it took me around 6 months to at least talk to him about certain aspects of his behavior, which do not resonates with me, and I was unable to give my 100%. But once that connection is being built, it was easier for both of us to understand where our strengths lies and how we can collaborate. So coming back to her question is, it's very important that you communicate your perspective and give the feedback, and try to ensure that you are not doing it as a critic, because people don't like feedback when they're leaders, but they always go to people who they think understand them best or judge them best. But again, sometimes professional jealousy comes into picture, and people do not like to get any feedback from such people who they think they're competing against. So it's very important to give a mild feedback initially and on a continuous basis, and giving in circumstances where they can help other people, other leaders to develop as a competency, rather than focus or make them feel that they're focusing on their weaknesses. Because everybody like praise, nobody like negative judgment or negative feedback when you point finger that you have done this incorrectly. But again, it's very important. Thank you for bringing up this question. Now,
great question.
People need to understand that they have to walk the talk rather than just talk.
Right. That's great. Thank you so much for that answer. Rabia Salim Rao is asking or saying authority, a word, please.
I told her when I said boss, I said authority, I means her.
That's great. Amber Huck from New Jersey is saying, is giving us thumbs up. Thank you so much, Amber. Rabia Salim Rao is saying, I'm seriously enjoying the conversation. Thank you so much, Rabia, for hopping on the show and keeping with us. Thank you so much. Rabia Salim Rao is saying, when we give feedback to our leaders, they become defensive instead of taking it as a positive critique. Then what? Yeah. This is really, really important. And that's what you talked earlier as well, that you have to be very careful when you give feedback. Your job may be at a stake, right? If the person doesn't take it positively, then many things can happen. So what would you respond back to Rabia's question?
I think she is very much spot on that if we don't, they become defensive instead of taking as a positive critic. So I believe that, again, ensuring that your words, your tone should be like this, that you are helping them as a friend or as somebody who really want to excel rather than, focusing on their weakness. It is very difficult, very tough, I understand, because there are few people who always take you as a competition in their mind, and they will never let it go. So even in sleep, right, 3 a.m. in the morning, somebody utter out your name and they will like, I cannot. They mentally don't, accept it.
True.
So, maybe one of the things that, creating connection with them on regular basis and helping them grow as a friend. Slowly and gradually takes time. But again, also individual lose interest after a while because not everybody can always focus on one person, and they try to, make them believe that you are very much, sincere with them. So take out some time. If they are not it's not helping, just give your feedback and just move on.
That's it. Now, a related question came to my mind is, how do you develop as a leader, as a servant leader? How do you develop that culture in your organization that anybody feels free to come to you and stand in front of you and say that you did this thing wrong, or this is how you should have done that? How do you develop that culture? It's related to Rabia's question.
Okay, so one of the things that we need to do is we need to give people voice rather than give them designations. Even somebody who has a very good idea, or somebody who thinks that we have done better as a team or as an individual, should be given the voice and should not afraid that this will result in a negative feedback in appraisal process, right?
Right.
So if one thing is that, second thing is, and you as a leader, I need to acknowledge, for example, a lot of times that I talk to her or I talk to somebody, and they feel that I am very much aggressive, and I feel I am not right at this point. So they help me understand, and they build that perspective which they want me to see. So once you're working with your people and let them enable them to build that perspective for you and for them as well, so that environment will be created automatically. So this is the thing.
That's good. So Rabia, I hope you got the answer to your question. Another interesting question we have is from Rizwan Ashraf. He's asking, leaders are born or made?
So no matter whether you're born in a ruling party's family or whatever, you will always be made when the time is tested. So leaders are made no matter what your family background is, what your education credentials are. The way you respond to scenarios, the way you respond to situations, the way you make choices will always make you the leader you are today and tomorrow. So leaders are made; they're not born.
Not born. That's good. Thank you so much. And then he's saying, in corporate sector, we have managers or leaders. That's a very good question.
We have both, because an organization can never work only with people who have vision, and they are unable to look at the current situation. And the organization also cannot work with people who are just managing day-to-day operation, cannot look into the future beyond a specific time period. So we have
So
a
you need both
combination of
kind of
both.
people.
Yeah,
Correct.
you need both kind of people. Like, some people have technical abilities, and some people have leadership abilities, and
Mm,
together they can make a great team.
awesome. Awesome. That's great answer. Thank you so much. Rabia Salim Rao is saying how servant leader can create a balance in practicing emotional intelligence and also being a leader making things happen, because people at times cannot draw a fine line between these.
Yeah, because she's very much right. Because you have to draw a line. Either you care too much for people, that will result in maybe an operational loss, or loss in revenue, or the process being broken, or you're too much stringent focus on any of your policy and procedure will impact the biggest asset, that is your people. So you connect with people, you enable them, you empower them, but also that one thing I told you, that create the culture of accountability with them, and ensure that they're performing their job, and you are also performing your job as a leader.
Mm,
So one thing that I will promote, because everybody likes to evaluate their subordinate, it's very important how you are doing needs to be evaluated as well, so you can improve as well. So that fine line where you can be very influential leader is listen to people what they're saying, connect with them, and also ensure that you are doing what is required. You are Whether it's required to take decision from your head, take decision from your head, and if you whether you want to feel feelings from your heart, feel feelings from your heart. So this balance has to be very much important, and you have to practice it. Every decision that you take, go back, retrospective, and see whether you did well or you need to improve.
great. Great. Thank you so much for that detailed answer. Rizwan Ashraf is saying, sorry, Jazbhai, I haven't participated since long time because I was busy, some other important tasks. No worries. It's never too late, as they say. So thank you so much for hopping on the show and contributing and asking questions. So thank you so much. And further, he's adding, Sir Fahad, what are those mandatory skills must be seen in leaders? I think we talked about those, but again, we can do a quick recap.
Yeah, emotional intelligence is one, problem solving and communication is the other, and decision making is the third that I would like to see in leaders, in
Right.
today's leader.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much. And another question he's asking is how to know someone that he or she is a true leader?
Uh, Whether when your objectives or organizational objectives or community objectives are being taken as people's objectives. They own those objectives and try to take lead and try to implement what is it is required. Don't need to push anybody. And in that process, people development, people nourishment are your main focus. If
Hmm.
you are doing that, then you're the true leader.
Great. Great. Awesome. Thank you so much for asking those questions, friends. I really appreciate it. So what would be your final message about the topic? Today's topic was servant leadership in challenging times. Thoughts.
One thing is, like, help people out. It's not always like helping people financially. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are getting crammed up for because they don't have new skills, and there are a lot of people who are into depression, anxiety. Help them by recommending people for suitable jobs if you can, by hearing out people, by ensuring that the mental well-being of your people around you is more than okay, and and celebrate small, even the smallest bit of thing. Even if you are able to submit a document on time, if you are able to help somebody out, if you are able to you know deliver the project shipment or whatever in time, celebrate that. People are connecting through Zoom calls, through Skype, or whatever. Celebrate that and be truly happy whatever you have in life right now. One of my greatest friend or my colleague who is from Brazil said something I really touched my heart. We are really, really lucky to have roof over our head and food on our table. People have bigger problems.
That's right. That's true. That is very true. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Fahad Ahmed, on behalf of Dreams Television, the Ijaz Qureshi Show, myself, my entire team who helps me to run the show, plus my three co-hosts, Sadaqa Naveen from Islamabad, Faiza Qureshi from Karachi, Tahira Awan from Toronto, plus all the viewers who have watched us live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. We were live on both platforms together. And people who commented and asked questions, and those people who will be watching it in a recording according to their time zones. Thank you so much for adding value to the Ijaz Qureshi Show and your thoughts. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Viewers, that was Fahad Ahmed all the way from Karachi, Pakistan. Great discussion about the topic, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I learned a lot in today's discussion. So thank you so much for hopping on the show. Please do share, as sharing is caring, I always say. And let us know if you want to see something, a topic that has never been discussed on the show and you want to hear about that. Please do let us know through comments, and thank you so much. And let us know how we can make it a better show than what it is today. Thank you so much, and Allah Hafiz.